What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to be taking a look at a couple of new battle cards which are going to be coming out in Wave 3 of the Transformers trading card game, War for Cybertron Siege. These were revealed by the lovely folks over at Wreck and Rule. I'll pop a link to their reveal video in the description. You know the deal at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go and give some love to these people, because you know what? We like community spoilers, at least I do, and the more love we give to the people who are doing the spoiling, the more likely it is that the lovely folks over at Transformers Towers are going to let us have community spoilers in the future. So let's make sure we give them some love, shall we? We got a couple of battle cards to talk about today. We got an action, we got a weapon, we got orange icons, we've got black icons. Let's start off by having a look at Rock Toss. Rock Toss, orange icon, black icon. Now remember, black icons are the new icons where every one you flip during a battle gives you PS1 until end of turn. Very important. Orange and blue icons give you +1 attack and +1 defense until the end of the battle. Black icons give you PS1 until the end of the turn. That is a huge difference, ladies and gentlemen. That is a huge difference. So, you know, something to bear in mind. The example I've been giving is the same one that the Transformers folks gave when they revealed it. Blur. Blur, which can attack twice in one turn. It's got a really lovely skill in ult mode. When you deal damage to a tapped enemy, if there's an untapped enemy, you untap and attack the untapped enemy. This is important because you get PS for that as well. So the black icon is good, but what does it do? You do 1 damage to a tapped enemy. Now, the effect here isn't great. Now, the cheeky damage is fine, except if you want to do 1 cheeky damage and you want to have an orange icon, well, you can. We've got Zap, which does 1 damage to any enemy and has an orange icon. But maybe you want a blue icon. That's fine. Because in the Devastator deck, we got Heavy Landing, which does 1 damage to an enemy and has a blue icon. Now, if your tower is 6 or higher, you do 3 damage to the enemy. But one important thing to remember here is that, well, come on, ladies and gentlemen, you're only going to have a tower if you're playing Devastator. So in a Devastator deck, yay! Outside of a Devastator deck, not quite so good. Not quite so hot there. So we've got better options. Because the other thing here, and I do really need to stress this, you can only do the damage to a tapped enemy. So it's not great. It really restricts your options. Now, maybe you can just keep it in your hand for a little while, and you hold it for when your opponent does have a tapped character. The thing is, there's always a slight chance if your opponent's got more characters than you, then they can make sure the character you want to attack is the last one that gets tapped, in which case all the characters get untapped because they're all tapped, and then you never get to do it unless you can switch it around so they've got fewer characters than you. But the point is, it's only the tapped enemies, which gives your opponent that element of control. They can make sure they don't tap the enemy. I mean, if they've got a character with 1 health remaining, Zap will get them. And Heavy Landing will get them. Rock Toss will get them if they're tapped. So your opponent can just play the I'm not tapping it, ha 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 kind of game. It's not ideal. But then again, it's got a black icon. And I think that's where we really come down with this. Because sometimes you really want a black icon. So let's have a look at one of the other cards we've seen from Wave 3, RR Disruptor Blade. Because you see, RR Disruptor Blade, very nice card, really needs black icons. When the upgraded character attacks and you don't flip a black icon, scrap this card after the battle. It gives you +3 attack. So as long as you can hit a black icon, you get to keep the really quite ridiculously good +3 attack on that character and force them to drop something to get rid of it. I don't know, maybe a Vaporize or something. Makes a huge difference. And then again, we've also seen that there will be some character cards that will interact with black icons a little bit as well. So we saw that Raider Nightstick, when KO'd, turns into Black Beam Blaster, and when the upgraded character attacks and you flip at least 2 black icons, your opponent scraps a card from their hand. So yeah, this becomes pretty important. There are going to be plenty of times, and bearing in mind, right, we still haven't seen a huge amount of Wave 3. There are still a number of cards from Wave 3 that have yet to be revealed. So there's probably going to be more. Like, if we've seen this many cards so far that interact with black icons, there's probably going to be more in the future. So the fact of the matter is, if you're just looking at this as do 1 cheeky damage to a tapped character, no, it's not a good card. Because we objectively have better options. But if you're looking at it as I've got a black icon and I've got cards that need black icons, this is nice. And of course, that's before we remind ourselves, Pierce. Because these black icons give you Pierce. And we like Pierce, ladies and gentlemen. We like Pierce very much indeed. Pierce guarantees that you will do damage equal to your attack or Pierce, whichever is lower. So if you want to be working on a piercing deck and Megatron says, hey, because first of all, we've got Megatron Decepticon Leader, which in and of itself has Pierce 3 as a skill, and then we've got Fusion Cannon of Megatron, which gives you Pierce 3. Together they will give you Pierce 6, but remember, you've got to get your attack up to 6, because if you've got Pierce 6 but attack 5, which is what you will have if you don't flip any orange icons, etc., you still only guarantee 5 damage because your Pierce can't be higher than your attack. But if you're playing a deck that revolves around Pierce, this can be good. And if we move on to have a look at the other card, Combat Dagger, we see a very similar thing. Again, we've got an orange icon, and again, we've got a black icon. So everything I said holds true. And it's an upgrade weapon that gives you Bold 1. Well, this isn't good. In fact, Bold 1 is objectively bad. Because back in Wave 1, we had Flamethrower, which was also an upgrade weapon, which also had an orange icon, but gave you Bold 2 rather than Bold 1. And then, of course, if you're a Dinobot, you can also have Jaws of Steel, which gives you Bold 2 but goes in your utility slot, so you can have it along with a Flamethrower. And then we could look at Power Sword, which gives you Bold 3, although it can only be attached to a melee character. And then if you really want to go nuts, and sometimes you probably do want to go nuts, in Wave 2 we had Superior Cannon, which gives you Bold 4, just so long as you played a tech research immediately beforehand. I mean, just a day or two ago, and that really depends on in what order we're uploading them, but I'm sure I uploaded it before this one, we looked at Private Lionizer. That when it gets KO'd, turns into, because it's a Battle Master, turns into the upgrade RS Fire Steel Saber, which gives Bold 4. And then, of course, and look, I know this is a little bit ridiculous and a little bit over the top, and I get it, I do, but I don't really care. Because a few days ago, we were shown Raider Stormcloud. And you see, Raider Stormcloud, if you scrap 3 green icon cards from your hand, you give Bold 3. But if they've all got the same name, you give Bold 6. And this is all a long-winded way of saying Bold 1 is not impressive. I mean, you can just play Flame War. Flame War can give you Bold 1, and it's a 5-star character, which can also give you Tough 1. But again, it's more than that. These cards on the face of it aren't impressive, but here's the thing. They've got the black icons. And it really is going to be interesting to see exactly where we are with black icons by the time War for Cybertron actually comes out. Because the way I'm looking at it at the moment, Pierce is extremely powerful. And we've already seen a couple of cards that really are great if you've got a bunch of black icons. Which means that we are probably going to have a huge incentive to play a whole bunch of black icons, which means if we give black icon cards that are great, then those black icon decks are going to be overpowered. So we end up with Rock Toss and Combat Dagger. Cards which are fine, but honestly they are legitimately, objectively underpowered compared to similar counterparts. but they have the black icons. And I think this is Transformers' way of telling us, dude, seriously, these black icons are great. Now, I've made no secret of my love for Erratic Energy Grenade. It's definitely one of my favourite cards we've seen from Wave 3 at the moment. Might be my favourite battle card. I'd have to sit and have a better look, but I absolutely adore it. And that's got a black icon. So if you're looking at these just as, I can have bold and I can do cheeky damage, no, they're not good. But if you're looking at them as, hey, black icons are fun, watch me take advantage of black icons, oh, while I'm here, little bit of bold, little bit of cheeky damage, in that respect, they could end up being extremely good indeed. Now do make sure you go and check out Wrecking Rules reveal of these, link in the description, support the spoilers. And then, tell me what you think about these cards in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.